What's up? I ain't gonna lie to you. I just seen this video pop up on my feed and I had to react to it. Do you remember Hot Wheels Battle Force 5? Oh my goodness, bro. That shit was childhood, bro. I fuck with cars so heavy because of this show, bro. Hot Wheels Battle Force 5. Yesterday, I rewatched like one of the episodes, like got mad nostalgic, and I was like, hold on, is there somebody who like remember Hot Wheels Battle Force 5? It is. So I'm gonna react to it, you feel me? Shit is so tough. I could probably explain it, but I'm giving a brief summary. Hot Wheels Battle Force 5. 5 riders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Team leader fighting aliens. Protect the world. It's a battle royale. Have to get the freaking battle key to protect the battle zone. Oh my, I can't even, bro. Oh my goodness, bro. Shit was so tough, bro. Every single time, this shit was so tough, bro. Hot Wheels Battle Force 5. Such, wow, just wow. Now I'm gonna shut up. We're gonna react to this video, bro. Remember Hot Wheels Battle Force 5 by Jordan Fringe? Let's watch this, bro.
Wait, remember Hot Wheels Battle Force 5? It was the 3D animated high-speed cartoon series based off a collectible toy car line that you can buy at most stores that have a toy section. Well, if not, there were Matchbox cars
so
too.
Great,
For me as a kid,
bro.
Hot Wheels were everything. Here are my literal buckets from my childhood of all my collected cars.
I remember having the red,
so into them because back then they were all around 97 cents to $1 per car. So it was very cheap to keep me entertained. I was obsessed from the cars to setting up the tracks or having the car wash multi-story center, the shark jump, and who could forget having one of these carpets? Those days of playing with Hot Wheels on that carpet, simpler.
Yo, I have all my cars, bro, and it would just be a story. Straight story on this shit.
Those days of playing with Hot Wheels on that carpet, simpler days. But we aren't talking about the toys today as much as I would want to. Instead, we are looking into one of the many Hot Wheels animated cartoon properties that have spawned from the franchise. Today, we take a look at Battle Force 5. Find out what happens when you take a toy, make it a show, and then produce new toys based on the show, based on the toys. So if you enjoy the video, you better subscribe, especially if you think I should look into other Hot Wheels cartoons.
No! Wait! No!
Yes, skis.
Before I give you the breakdown of what this show was, let me just reiterate. This show is based off of this. A toy car. Keep that in mind. Also, you've heard of the term multiverse, I'm sure. Well, there is one in this show, and it was created by this character's alien race. I can't stress this enough. This show gets pretty wild with its story and plot, and this is just the tip of the iceberg here. Our story follows Vert Wheeler, voiced by Mark Hildreth, who, when driving in the desert, finds himself at a life-altering moment.
His original car looks so fire,
worlds
bro.
open up for him with dimensions called the Battle Zone.
The
alien from a race called the Sentients. Her name is Sage, voiced by Kira Tozer, and her whole goal is to have Vert become the leader of an eventual group of drivers to embark on an epic quest of finding keys. Well, kind of. At least at the start of the series. The rest of Battle Force 5 is assembled once Sage gathers the other following humans. Agura, voiced by Kathleen Barr. Zoom, voiced by Alessandro Giuliani. Stanford, voiced by Noel Johansson. Sherman, voiced by Brian Drummond. And Spinner, voiced by Gabe Kuth. Now, if you find yourself good at math, that makes the full team, minus Sage, since she's more of the string puller than a member, to a team of 6. But the show is called Battle Force 5. But that isn't a reference to the team members themselves, but instead the cars, the Hot Wheels, since Sherman and Spinner share a Hot Wheel or whatever together. So when later on in the series there are other members like Tez, also voiced by Noel Johansson, and AJ, voiced by Michael Dobson.
And AJ
for some reason stays Battle Force 5 instead of upgrading to 6 or 7 in the name, but regardless of that, this is the real focus here in the show rather than the semantics. The vehicles themselves are very much tricked out with some very impressive weaponry that aids them in their first quest of finding battle keys. These artifacts that open up portals that lead you through different dimensions in the multiverse. These areas are known as battle zones, and the ones who hold the keys can use them to reopen and close portals. So they are pretty important, as you can tell. But it's not as easy as just going and finding them, because Sage probably could have just done that on their own. So the reason she has assembled this all-star team of people who can drive is because there is evil afoot. Make that a feat, actually, since there are really 2 evil factions that stand as competition to the BF5. That's short for Battle Battle Force 5. First, one of Fur and Fluff, the Vandals, led by Captain Callus,
Yes,
voiced
sir.
by Colin Murdoch, who currently occupy the Blue Sentient Planet, where Sage's race was originally from, as well as there's one of Metal,
Zemric.
the Sark, which are led by Zemeric, voiced by Michael Dobson. They are an alien race of robots that currently occupy the Red Sentient Planet. Yes, in addition to the Blue Sentients, there are also Red Sentients, who are the counterpart
Yo,
to the
this
Blue
season was
Sentients and help
insane,
form the
bro. Oh
multiverse
my.
together, as well as the keys and all these zones. So yeah, there is quite a bit going on here in what on the surface is a Hot Wheels TV show.
Yeah.
I'll stop talking now.
Hot Wheels Battle Force 5.
Wow.
Is that the pizza that you sneezed on?
Huh?
With the success that Hot Wheels was having in the early 2000s, thanks
if
to
they ever
not
should bring
only
this show
sales
back,
of the toy
bro,
cars and
I'll be
playsets,
so
but now
happy.
also their animated films like the Accelerator series and World Race. It was clear to Mattel that there was a larger market for Hot Wheels than anyone
the hell,
had ever
what the hell?
imagined. I mean, they're just cars, but instead of going
This
the
is
route
my
of making
show
the
right
show
here.
just based on racing and being grounded in reality, there was an affinity to adding in a bunch of fantastical sci-fi elements, mixing in
Zoom's
with the
bike is
action
so
genre
cool to me,
booming
bro.
in
I'm
cartoons
just-
at the
'cause
time
it's
to give a lot
mean.
more story to it all.
Like,
This
look at
would
that.
be an
Wow.
American and Canadian collaboration to make Battle Force 5 an actual show, with
Yeah.
Mattel working together with Nerdcore Entertainment and Nelvana to bring this idea to life. So there is a reason why this show looks so similar to other shows like Slugterra and
Yo, Slugterra was
Now,
so
it's not really more interesting than that in terms
my
of the
goodness.
production. It would premiere on Cartoon Network in the United States on
That's when
August
I
29,
first seen this show,
2009,
Cartoon Network, yeah.
officially, but also
I just
having a
randomly
sneak
popped on
peek
my
drop with 2
TV one day, I was like,
episodes
what
several
is
days
this?
before on August 24th, 2009. Now, like I said, there were other Hot Wheels shows and movies before this, not really being a new concept for the Hot Wheels brand. In
Right.
fact, all the way back in 1969, 1 year after Hot Wheels would hit store shelves, the cartoon just titled Hot Wheels would premiere. It wouldn't be until the early 90s where another series was tried again called Heroes on Hot Wheels, which technically wasn't a Hot Wheels show at all, at least at first. Originally, it was a French cartoon that was dubbed in English and transformed into a Hot Wheels show sold on VHS tapes that would come with an exclusive Hot Wheels car. But
fine.
from the success of making the series a bit more
Capitalism.
different, World Racers and Acceleracers would kick off the appeal of a Hot Wheels franchise for fans to attach themselves to, or for streamers to watch on their streams.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I really
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a good time. But the real question is for the show, does it all work? Is it a good time? Taking the most basic
100%.
thing that makes a
Right.
Hot Wheel by having cars just
Yeah.
be involved, but the real story being about
Yo,
alien
this episode was so
does
cool.
it equal
When
out
this shit
into a
just
show
moves
that
different. Oh,
cohesively make
this episode was insane to me, bro. Like the whole zone just moves. Like it's like a constant Hot Wheels track, and every piece will move depending on that little main spiral bullshit.
story
If you know what I'm
being
talking
about
about, you know what I'm
alien
talking about.
power
If you know, you know type
struggles.
shit.
Does it
That shit
equal
was
out
so fire.
into a show that cohesively makes sense? Well, I'll say that I was pleasantly surprised by the show. I wasn't going into it with too much thought other than having seen some of the other Hot Wheels movies. And by the end of the show, I thought it was pretty cool that this fun multiversal alien concept was as enthralling as it was. And yeah,
Indeed.
the cars are cool too, but in all honesty, the cars are the thing that took the backseat for me here. I think having the main
Indeed,
enemies in the
bro.
show be this tribal-esque faction of vandals and these futuristic robots kind of adding this cool duality of time where humans are just
Yes.
kind of caught in the middle of it here. In season 2,
That's
it
fire. I
really
never thought about
ramped
it
up
like that.
the fun for me. I think the story here gets elevated a lot more dealing with the red and blue sentients specifically. Together,
Facts.
these two sentient races come together forming a truce to not be at war with one another. But Kratos, voiced by Brian Drummond, decided that
Kratos,
he
that's
wasn't
his
for
name.
that and reignited the
Yo,
war.
his bike
as
was
Zemeric,
awesome. Like, his
literal
car was
own
insane.
creation, turned against
There's a
him
bike
and
that's
his
like a whole wheel,
followers,
too.
imprisoning them so he can take over. And Kratos plans on freeing them. Yes, there is another team opposite the Battle Force 5 now called the Red Sentient 5. But here's a fun fact, Sage is Kratos' twin sister. And in order to stop them at one point, she froze all the Red Sentients minus her brother and his team to stop another oncoming war, which caused him to
Yeah.
retaliate in very extreme ways that are explored in the show.
Like, when you really
and
think
leaves
about it, this shit
Kratos
was
now
deep, too, bro.
extremely
That's
angry at
crazy.
both Zemeric and Sage.
Damn.
The show fully goes into some pretty interesting conflicts and storytelling, mixed with some pretty entertaining and cool action that really worked for me. I liked how deep the lore was written, and how
the lore was really good.
Felt like it was constantly building up rather than having pacing issues or having a lack of direction.
Nah, it was
down
built
to
up
the little
beautifully,
things in
bro.
the show.
Beautifully.
I appreciate the world building approach they took in crafting the story. These larger vehicles, the Mobies, that act as a power source for Sage, as some sort of charging station for her, and even come back later on in the group's search for data logs. These characters, mainly aside from the humans, are really complex in their backgrounds and their individual stories, leading through various plot points, even going as far as doing a whole thing about the enemy of my enemy is temporarily my friend until we are enemies again thing, when Zemeric needs Battle Force 5's help, and in return helps give them the locations of the rest of Kratos' Red Sentient 5 to aid them in their conflict. Where this show could have easily been a toy sales vessel, which in part of course it was, it went above and beyond to deliver a strong narrative first and foremost rather than becoming one big advertisement for your parents' wallet. It felt like there was a lot of passion for this story from the writers, and that while there was a lot going on at once towards the end of the show, it was all able to still keep a strong focus on the story to not become convoluted. But with that being said, there was a toy market to this show.
Yes, bro, I remember. I got the little red save. I wish I need to buy it. I'm gonna buy it one day so I just have it like
feeling like the show was canceled
right here.
with no conclusion. But technically,
why they do that? When I finished season 2, I was looking so hard for season 3 just to find out there was no season 3 and it got canceled.
It wasn't, and let's dig into that.
It was a total team victory, guys.
Was it?
We all won this.
Hot Wheels Battle Force 5.
Own it.
Nice move, Zoom.
I like this little transition.
Now, for the series, a major point was the toy market outside of just regular Hot Wheels, which have always been and will always be on store shelves. It's the most consistent thing in my life every time I walk into a Target and see them. And that may be the saddest thing that I've ever said about myself. Regardless, the toys for the series were already coming out alongside the show.
Dude, I always wanted these shits, but
which had the subtitle to it called Fused, played heavily into the toys as well, where the concept in the show was about being able to fuse their cars together to form new powerful.
Oh, this shit was, I forgot. Yo, the shoes.
Yep, you guessed it. This translated to the toys as well. Heck, even McDonald's got on board with some cheaper and quality versions of their own. But nevertheless, the toys seem to be everywhere. If you're still interested in getting the toys outside of places like eBay or other online sellers, for whatever reason, since 2021, Battle Force 5 toys have been showing up in some discount stores, specifically 99-cent only stores, but being sold for more than 98 cents, but not by much. Just an interesting thing to see
I need to
pop up
find
after
them.
decades since the show came to an end. After 2 seasons of the show, Battle Force 5 would come to an end in 2011, wrapping up a lot of the major storylines for the show, but not particularly everything, leaving fans of the show with a handful of questions and not really any answers, leaving off with a hint regarding the Ancient Ones. Well, towards the end of 2012, the series would live on to answer these questions. Again, kind of. There was a special called Battle Force 5 Full Revolution that would serve as the true ending to the series, offering a lot of answers to the questions left.
Bro. I could never found it, bro.
If you live in Latin America, then I'm sorry, you never got to see the series finale premiere. Why? Well, it may be because the ratings and interest or sales of the toys were still very high in Latin America as opposed to the other markets around the world where the show was shown. While an English version did premiere in Latin America, it has never been released elsewhere, not even on a DVD-only type of deal, leaving fans wanting this to be officially released from Mattel. But based on the time passed since and the franchise being over for a decade, it seems like no plans of an actual release are on the horizon. But who knows, weirder things have happened. If you are interested in checking out the full special, there is an English subtitled version that I will link down below thanks to the channel.
Hey, I'm about to go see this.
Major shout out to them for giving access to finish up the franchise for those who have been waiting to see it. But if you're wanting more than just the show and the toys, there was a Battle Force 5 video game that came out in 2009 for the Nintendo Wii and DS from Activision that deals with Vert going after the Infinity Key that the Vandals got a hold of, as well as finding the rest of the Battle Force 5 team after becoming separated. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Battle Force 5. It's a weird combination of so many things, and luckily, a lot of those things are what I like or am interested in. It has action, it has sci-fi storytelling, and it has Hot Wheels. And what more could you ask for? Maybe an official release of the English version of the
Oh, please,
finale
please.
special. That would be cool. Anyway,
Out.
let me know your thoughts on
Finale,
Hot Wheels
finale?
Battle Force 5 and if
Finale.
you'd like to see the end of the series
Finale,
officially come
yeah.
out in some accessible way. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Later.
Yes, thirsty, bro. But yeah, you get me, bro. That's yo. Hot Wheels Battle Force 5, bro. I'm like, hold on, let's read some of the comments. Oh boy, finally someone who was so nice enough to find a forgotten childhood memory from the back of my brain. Facts, bro. Wow. Or just everybody, like, you know, just being like, wow, this memory lane, bro. Memory lane, bro. Like, that's the thing about that. This show specifically, bro, is memory lane to me. You watch Hot Wheels Battle Force 5, that shit was tough. I'm going to look for the little Hot Wheels, the little if I could get all of them, I would definitely try to get all of them. The little Hot Wheels sabers. The whole Hot Wheels Battle Force 5 cars, the saber, damn. Bird's car, Zoom's car, all their cars, bro. I'm gonna try to get all of them. Just have it stacked next to my shelf, bro. Just be like, yeah, memory. This memory right here. You feel me? But Hot Wheels Battle Force 5, so good. 10 out of 10 show for it. Something we wouldn't even expect to be good. But man, was that shit good. Yes, sir, skis. All right. Y'all take care. That's Hot Wheels Battle Force 5. You remember it? I remember it. I love it. I fuck with it heavy. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night, day, wherever you are. I'm out. Yes, sir, skis.